To discuss the problem, remove duplicates from a sorted array. We are given with an integer array. This is an integer array. What we have to do is we have to remove the duplicate values from this array. So something like this. It removed the duplicate item, so we are left with only 1, 2. This dash is because we have removed the item and we are doing it in place. We are not using a new array, we are not putting the result into the new array, so we are doing it in place. So that's why it doesn't matter what we are leaving behind. What we have to do is, so in the beginning part of the new array, so we have entered the unique elements. We have to return the new length of the unique elements. Here in the original array, the length was 3, 0, 1, 2. The length was 3. And in this array, the items which are filled, the length is 0, 1. So the length is 2. So we have to return the new length of the unique elements. And in the problem description, they said that array is sorted, which is a very big hint, because if we are finding a unique element, it will be right beside it or it is not there. So we will be using an index variable so that we can keep track of it, where we are putting the element, if we found a unique element, or so where we are putting it, because we are doing it in place. So the first element, so here we can see, we can think the very first element of the array. So we are just keeping it, right? So we are putting it into the same position. We are not changing its position. So the first position is the index equals to 0 is for the very first element. And next we will be putting the items into the, starting from index 1. We will be putting either this item or we will be putting another item from index equals to 1. So then we will be looping through int I equals to 0, I less than nums dot length I plus plus, so that we don't get array index out of bound, because we will be comparing to I and I plus 1. So I have used the -1 here. Now the comparison is, if nums at I is not equals to nums at I plus 1, means it is a unique, right? So we will be putting it in nums at an index. We are putting that nums I plus 1. So why we are doing it here, why we're doing I plus 1? Because at the very first index, as I mentioned before, we are keeping the first element, right? At the very first index, we are keeping this element. And then we are comparing the nums I with nums I plus 1. If they are not equals, means they're unique. So then we are, if suppose there is 2 instead of 1, right? So if it is, let's say 1, 2, 2, something like this. So if nums at I is not equals to, so the first position we already put at the index 0, we already put 1. So now we are checking for the second element. If second element is equals to the first element, so if the second element is not equals to the first element, then we are putting at the index position this second number, right? So the index position, we initialized it to the 1. So here we are putting this I plus 1. The I plus 1 was 2, the second element, and so on. So we will be continuing this. Okay, so we have put this I plus 1 at the index position. After putting it at the index position, because this loop will continue, so that the next element when we put, we don't put it in the right in the same position, right? So we want to, after putting the value, we are incrementing the index so that the next value will go on the next index. So here index plus plus will be, it was 1 before, then it becomes 2. And at the end, in the output, what we are returning is return index. Let's run the code. Accepted. Let's try to submit it. Okay, it is success. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.